Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. Very excited to bring you the Pop Report episode number 2 with Josh Adams, who's at Midwest Vintage Cards on Instagram. I'm at Cajun_Cardboard on Instagram, as we talked about last week. If you're not on Instagram, look into it. I'm not going to say much more about that. Josh, happy to be here with you again. This is round 2. You barely made the cut. I thought about killing it after the first episode. I didn't tell you this. I got really terrible feedback about you, but everybody loved me. It was odd. It was unusual. But that's the feedback that I got. Did you get the same feedback?
Yeah, I got some real bad hate mail. So yeah, I'm glad. I had to turn the messages off, as they say, right? Don't read the comments ever.
That's right. Well, look, I'm glad we can get this in on Mother's Day. We both got the consent from our mothers and our wives to do this, and our grandmothers maybe to do this, and so that's how dedicated we are to the hobby, right? So here we are on Mother's Day. I want to first I want to say, like, episode 1. This is something I'm confused about. Episode 1 was about you, basically your origin, and I was kind of introducing you to the viewers on my channel so they could get familiar with you and comfortable, because we're going to shoot a bunch of these on Sunday evenings. By the way, guys, these are Pop Report episodes are going to release Mondays at 4 p.m. So the first episode, I gave you an open floor, right? I gave you an open stage to tell me about yourself, all your talents, and you left out that that you are, and I'm going to switch you guys over here to screen share. You left out the fact that you were a hip hop recording artist. I did not know.
I don't like to brag, but yes,
The face. Yeah, so not to be outdone, right? That's a beautiful app that my son's got that he showed me, where you can modify anything. And I don't want to be outdone by you, so I want to show you that I'm also a little bit talented. I've got a little talent of my own. And so let me just show you what I can do. Heartfelt, Josh. Heartfelt. All right, enough of that. Cool app. That's my son's app. He's super proud of it, and he showed it to me. And it's real easy for guys in their mid to late 40s to get amused.
There you go. It's right up our head. We're the wheelhouse, right?
We were talking a little bit before we got on the air. Today's episode is going to be a lot more organized than the first episode. So what we're going to do each week is we're going to talk about 3 primary topics, right? The 3 topics we're going to talk about this week. Number 1, we're going to talk about the last card in your collection that you would ever sell, right? Or put another way, if all your cards were in your house and your house was burning down and you can only grab one card, what would that card be, right? That's kind of topic number 1. And along the same lines, that's going to lead us into exit strategy, right? A lot of people get into the hobby. They don't talk about exit strategy. They don't think about exit strategy. And I don't just mean what happens to my cards if I get hit by a train or a bus or an alligator eats me in Louisiana. We're talking about, what if I'm, 74 years old and my time's come and I'm ready to relax and move this inventory, move these cards, right? We love cards now, and we know we're going to love cards for the immediate future. But what if we are ready to move on 17 years from now? That's topic number 1. Topic number 2, we're going to show the 5 best Jordan cards we got. That's it. That's pretty simple and straightforward. Everybody likes to look at big time cards. You've got tons of big time cards. I'm primarily a Jordan collector. You're obviously a huge Jordan collector, but your collection is so much more broad than mine. More sports. I've seen tickets. I've seen memorabilia. And so each week we'll kind of feature little different parts of our collection. But this week, because, there's a lot of Jordan content on my channel and a lot of people that like to talk about Jordan cards, we'll talk about those. So that's topic number 2, our 5 best Jordan cards. And then topic number 3, we're going to talk about a new auction house that you may know something about called 90s Auctions. Right. And we're going to give you the floor and let you talk about it. For those of you viewing this channel and watching my channel and who have seen Josh before and don't know, he's involved in a new auction house that's coming on the block that's going to feature primarily 90s cards. And we're going to let him take the ball and roll with that. In fact, let's just go in reverse order. Let's start by talking about your auction house. Tell the viewers what they need to know.
All right. So I am primarily a 90s collector, so all sports and also vintage sports. But, being a teenager in the 90s was all I chased. And being a teenager in Chicago in the 90s, basketball was the number one thing. So, spent most of my youth cracking Skybox, Upper Deck, and all that stuff. So as I got older and collecting, I thought I would start an auction house that focuses only on cards from the 90s. So, primarily the second half of the 90s is where most of the inserts and the new technology came in, like, PMGs and central credentials. 90 to 96 is a lot of mass-produced stuff. So I wanted to make an auction house that only focuses on 90s cards in all sports. So we'd have baseball, football, basketball, hockey. Because, in a lot of these other auction houses, there's a ton of stuff, but there's really not a lot of broad-based 90s material. There's, you'll have your Griffeys, you'll have your Jordans, you'll have your, maybe a few Barry Sanders or Peyton Mannings, but, no, not a larger swath of those cards, not a lot of Gretzky's. And there's a ton of hockey inserts that are extremely rare from the 90s that are floating around that pop up once in a while. So we made an auction house. Our website is 90sauctions.com, and you can go there now and you can register to bid. Our first auction is going to be in September of this year, so it gives us enough time to get our name out there, get eyeballs on the auction, which is the most important thing, get consignments, and just get word of mouth. We have, what do we have? We'll have a site at a booth at the National so that people can come in, see what we're going to have at the auction. I'm going to make a catalog, a PDF catalog that's embedded on the website so you can download it and look at it whenever you want, or just go to the site and look at it at your leisure. And it's going to focus on 90s cards. We're going to have a lower consignment, a lower buyer's premium. We're going to have a 15% buyer's commission if you use cashier's check or private or personal check, and then 17% if you want to use PayPal or any other sort of means of payment. Wire transfers will be 15%, and all that information is on the website. And that's what we're hoping we could offer, this kind of unique, very specialized auction to people that are only looking for that kind of material. Smaller lots, so between 100, 125, 150 lots. And there's a site right there. Thank you for putting that up.
Yeah, there's two goats right there, right?
Yeah, right.
Griffey, Gretzky, Jordan.
Yeah, we try to cover all four sports. I'm trying to get a football one on there. And then because there is a lot of, Manning, is so overshadowed by Brady, but Manning still is one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Sid Luckman did not play in the 90s, so we can't.
He did not, which is kind of the only, I think I would like to call the auction Sid Luckman and the 90s auctions, but
yeah,
my partner shot me down.
Yeah.
My partner is his name is John Linden. He's Chicago Sports Cards Gems on Instagram. So him and I, we operate an Instagram account is 90s Auctions. We're on there. So if you want to contact us through there, I actually had a lot of people already contact us and ask questions about how to get paid, what's the buyer's premium. And there's no cost to sellers. That's the most important part. So There's no seller's fee. You give us the card, we'll handle everything. We're going to try to do 4 auctions a year and try to focus mostly on rare, hard to find things, central credentials and just rare stuff you don't see every day, like on eBay or something like that.
I like the idea of limiting the breadth of your auction house to a specific genre. And the reason I say that is because I think I speak for a lot of people in the hobby. It is really easy to get overwhelmed. Like when you look, I only collect basketball. Right. Mm-hmm. But when I go to a PWCC premiere or a golden auction, I can get overwhelmed. I mean, it's like there's going to be like 175 cards that I like, right? Going from 1948 Bowman to, 2020, gold prism or whatever. And I like the idea of sticking in that genre. And I think you're going to get a real loyal fan base and a real loyal group of buyers and consigners and sellers who obviously are still in love with the 90s. And guess what? They're all going to be about our age. Right. because guys that are like, 41 to kind of 55, all of us dig the 90s. We dig the 90s. It's the bulk of our collection. And I'm jealous of you because your collection, spans probably more than 4 sports, whereas mine's primarily one single sport. But I like that idea, Josh.
Thanks. And, we're not trying to really compete with the big boys. We're just trying to have that one small niche where if it's a card from the 90s that's hard to find, we want to be the people that have it and that sell it and that you can find it from us.
So I've got this pulled up on the screen. Tell me if I say something wrong. This is a general phone number that if you've got questions at all, any questions at all that you've got about 90sauctions.com, how to consign, how much you get paid, what the stuff, that's all built in right up here on these drop downs. It's all in there as far as about, why choose us and stuff like that. But if you want to ask specific questions, I see you've got a Josh at 90s Auctions email address up here, which people can email. You can pick up the phone and call the number. I guess the cards themselves, where will the cards be housed, Josh? Will they be in Chicago? I see location Chicago.
Yeah, they'll be in Chicago. We'll have a warehouse where we keep a secured, site where we keep all the cards. Everything's insured. We've got all the necessary insurance and licensing from the state of Illinois. And, we're hopefully run a nice auction in September. And we'll be in the National to answer everyone's questions. I have my Midwest Vintage card booth, but I'll be at the National with a 90s auction section, and we can hopefully meet a lot of people. And I know a lot of people already. Hopefully we'll introduce them to the auction, and it'll take off from there. And you and I will be at the National together all week.
That's right. That's right. I'll be your minion. I'll just be following you around. You got to show me how it's done. I've never been there. I'm super excited about it. If you want to register for 90sauctions.com, correct me if I'm wrong. It costs nothing. I think I registered and it took me about 2 minutes. You're just going to fill out the information here. You set up a username, password, confirm your email, put your references down, right? Name drop. This is your chance to name drop who you're friends with in the hobby, because the odds are if you know some whales, Josh already knows those people. So it costs nothing, correct, Josh, to register?
Right. Yeah, correct. Obviously, yeah. No money, doesn't cost anything. The references are really for if someone I don't know, someone we don't know. We just want to make sure that they'll pay for the item. But most people I know already have registered, and it's great. So we've had a really good response already. Just hoping for more.
Cool. So September is when that kicks off.
Yep.
Good deal.
Thank you,
okay. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to topic number 2. Let's go with our 5 best Jordan cards. Let's just show some cards, and I know inevitably this is going to lead to a discussion of epic proportions. So you want to go first, or you want to go me, or do you want to go one card at a time? Let's go one card at a time.
You go first, because I think you're betting lead off. You're going to
Okay. We're going to go one card at a time, and all my cards are going to be digital pictures. You actually got cards in hand, right? Don't give out your home address, please. Don't let anybody know where you are in Chicago. My cards are in the vault because I don't trust people in Louisiana, nor do I trust hurricanes, alligators, swamp things, or any other fire, flood, theft, whatever. And I've been through all of that stuff in the last year. Fires, floods, hurricanes, all of the above. So we'll pull mine up first. I'm going to start with a little bit of an oddball card. This is definitely going to be a conversation piece. And we've talked about this card before on my channel. So this is my top 5. It's not going to be in any particular order, but this would probably be 5th on my list. This is the 97 EX 2001 Jambalaya, but it is the non-die cut version. Okay, so I want to be very clear. Not a fake card, but not the die cut version. To my knowledge, BGS has only graded 2 of these ever. There was, I think, a 9 that just sold actually on a PWCC auction. Right. And then this is the other Beckett graded 8.5. So that's my card number 5. What do you know about this card? I hear different stories. I really should know. If it's one of my 5 best Jordan cards, I should know a little bit more about it. I still need to get the die cut version, Josh, but I don't have it. If I get it, I'd like to pair these 2 together, right? I'd like to get the 8.5 Jambalaya with the die cut and put them next to each other, because I like to do pairings and trios and take pictures, and I'm nerdy and artistic like that on Instagram.
Oh, beautiful. So my understanding from this card was that it was from the bankruptcy, I believe. There should be an embossing on this card towards by the 23, I think, correct? Is there or no? And I think that's how you can tell. And I know the die, it looks like a sheet cut, right? That's my understanding of this card.
Sheet cut for sure, yeah, because it's not die cut. And I know there are people out there that try to take these sheet cuts, non-die cut, and die cut them themselves. And those, of course, would be considered altered, right? Altered cards.
Oh, yeah.
This is not an altered card, but at the same time, we're all familiar enough with the Jambalaya to know that the correct version is the die cut version. This one's not. I really feel like I should know a little bit more about the story, but honestly, Josh, I really don't. So, but anyway, I kind of picked it up early on in my collecting career for a pretty decent price. It's probably worth about the same as what I picked it up at. It's obviously not taken off and exploded like the true die cut Jambalaya, but nevertheless, there's your card number 5 for me. Let's go with you. Let's see what you got.
It's pretty. That's a nice looking card. So my card number 5 is the 93. Here, whoa, there you go.
There
Can
we
you see
go.
this okay?
Yeah, go back a little bit. Yep, there you go.
It's a 97, 98 SP Authentic Sign of the Times trade card. And you would get this in a pack. I believe it's a 23 card set. And you get these in packs and you send them into Upper Deck, and they'd send you back the same card, but it's autographed on the back, on the bottom. So, I mean, the Jordan, I think one sold a couple years ago for around 25, 30 G's. It's rare. It almost never pops up as an autograph. So this will have to do until I can get the autograph.
What's the expiration date on sending that in and getting an autograph?
So I missed the expiration date by 3 days. It's 5/10. However, I also missed it by 23 years. So it's 1999. So 5/10/99 I had to hand this in. So I just think it's cool
close.
that this is something that a kid would have pulled, and you probably would have lost his mind. Send it in, gets a Jordan autograph. What I don't understand is why this card never was sent in then. Unless it was pulled from a pack way after 99 then.
So when you send it in, you obviously don't get that card back and the autograph. Once you send that in, it's presumably supposed to be destroyed.
Right.
Or punched or hole punched or whatever.
Right. And then you just get the autograph back.
Yeah. So why is that card in a top loader in a penny sleeve instead of a slab?
I just never had I bought this in January or February 2020.
Okay.
From PWCC when they were still on eBay, and I just never sent it in. And I was going to, I'm like, I don't really need it in a slab, but I love the card stock. It's not that thick, it's not that thin, and it's like the lines. I just love the way this card presents. I should get it in a slab.
It's die cut at the top, huh?
It is. Oh yeah, die cuts are my favorite. I and on the bottom too.
Josh, they will, like PSA and BGS or SGC will grade that, right?
Oh, they will. There's a different trade card on eBay right now that I'm probably shouldn't have just said this, but there's a different trade card I'm looking at right now. So it's not die cut, but
you're the worst at that. You're always doing that. You're always telling people what you're bidding on.
Oh, I know. Like, hey, let the best man win. There you go. It's up. It's at auction. I'm going for it. Good luck. Get the guns a-blazing.
It's only a matter of time before you tell people what your max bid on a card is. All right, next on my list, card number 4. And it does look like we're kind of going in order. So this is card number 4 on my list, right? So this is where I get boring, right? I am a humongous 1986 Fleer fan.
Awesome.
I've got 6 1986 Fleer sets. I'm sad and excited to say that my 1986 Fleer PSA 10 set with stickers, yes, the Kareem sticker as well, is going up for auction. It's actually 3 of the cards, the Jeff Malone, the Johnny Moore, and the Kareem are already on PWCC May premiere auction. That ends on May 21st.
Oh, great.
And then that's why, like we talked about, I'm going to throw up every morning and every evening just from pure anxiety, right? And then all of the rest of the cards are going to be in an upcoming weekly auction that I think is going to end the day after. So it's probably going to end on the 22nd. Of May. The other one, and I'm not selling this Jordan, and I'm not selling my 57 base Jordan PSA 10, but I'm selling the other 141 PSA 10s that I have. But this sticker here, I'm super proud of. The pop on the sticker is about 1/3 of the base card, and the value of the sticker has kind of been hovering a little bit, but it's about a little bit less than 1/2 of the base card. And it's obviously because, people recognize, well, again, we don't want to get into the star versus Fleer debate, but there is no argument that the sticker is the true rookie card. But people would argue, some people, a portion of the hobby would argue the 86 Fleer 57, the base card, is his true rookie card. And so for that reason, it trails a little bit. But I like this copy of it. I think it's super clean. I've looked at it a million times over and over. I don't see any diamond cut, which is pretty common. There's obviously no gum issues on the back, gum stain issues. And even the back centering, there's a teeny tiny bit maybe of diamond cut at the top, kind of. But the centering's pretty good. And I know PSA is a little bit more lenient on the centering on the back of these cards than on the front of the cards. So I'm happy to have it. That's number 4 on my list.
That's killer, man. That's a great looking card. And that's hard to find centered, isn't it?
It is very hard to find centered. I think there's 100 and some change. So it's about 1/3 of the pop. It's about 1/3 of the pop. What you got? Number 4.
4 is the 97 Row Zero. Jordan.
Oh gosh.
It is out of 250. And if you can see that there. And I love this card because in person it's sparkly and shiny and everything I like about cards. And I bought this on eBay for like I think $1,000. April, I think it was April 2019 or end of April, end of 2019. And good way to tell there's a lot of fakes of these, and the good way to tell the fakes are this is gold is the authentic one, the silvers are the fake ones.
Those are the little tidbits you guys know, and I've got a group of guys, and we're in a group of guys who just know anything and everything, and it's invaluable. Like, those are things that I have no clue. Like, I don't own. That's a legacy collection, right?
Yeah, that's row 0, and then there's also there's also one of these out of 100 as well. So this is only the 250 one. There's a version out of 100 too.
Little things like that, Josh, like looking for the gold serial number instead of the silver. This is fake. That's fake. Where the serial number, the shape of the zeros.
Right.
I hear people talk about, as far as depicting what's authentic and what's counterfeit. That's the kind of stuff. I just haven't been around long enough. I'll tell you, I've been around about 6 years. I've been collecting Jordans for pushing 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And I don't know these things. And so it's invaluable to have somebody in the hobby, for those of you who are new or looking to get in the Jordan market. Go find a GOAT, go find a Josh, go find a Midwest Vintage Cards that you can ask questions about like that, about real, fake, and stuff like that. And there's great resources on Instagram and Facebook as well, groups where you can ask thousands of people, literally tens of thousands of people at once. Real, fake, what am I looking for? Does this look right to you? Something seems off about this card. Sure. I mean, how did you educate yourself? Is it just 25 plus years of doing it?
So, yeah, and then just, looking around, because I knew these are, Jordan 90 stuff is highly counterfeit. So is the 86 Fleer, right? So before I buy stuff, I like to read up on them, just do research on it, ask questions. There's stuff on, actually Blowout, for as terrible as it can be, there's some really good resources on there. You just got to sift through the junk to find it. And, ask questions. You ask people on Instagram are, in my experience, extremely giving in terms of their time and to share knowledge and share information, which I think is very helpful because everyone's new at some point and you got to help everybody.
I think especially in the Jordan collecting world, when I can speak from experience, when I first got into it, they're almost overly welcoming because they're so passionate about collecting Jordan cards. And the same could be said for Kobe and probably, Messi cards and Gretzky collectors and hockey collectors. When you ask questions about something that people absolutely love, they're extremely forthcoming with information and their patience. And so new collectors do not have any hesitation reaching out to experienced collectors. They would love to share their passion with you and educate you and kind of get along that journey with you.
And I'm still learning about stuff too. I'm still learning about stuff that I didn't know about. We see these weird stickers or stuff from Spain or that someone has in our group that they'll find it. Like, I have even no idea what I'm looking at.
Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Ecuador, Easter Island, right? The Easter Island Jordan,
the Easter Island Jordan sticker, right? I've never known it existed. Like, this is great. Where'd you find this? And they'll never tell us. But still.
All right, number 3. Let's move on. All right, I'm gonna pull mine up and let's see if it's in order. Yeah, nope, we're out of order now. Sorry, This is not really number 3. This is number 2, but we'll go a little bit out of order. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this one. Everybody's got, everybody knows what this card is. This is my pride and joy. It was the first true Grail that I bought. Obviously, I didn't buy it at $800,000 like somebody did who bought 2 of them. But I also didn't get it back in the 90s when you got your, showcase legacy collection you just showed us where you got it for $60. But I bought this card at a really good price. And just like you talked about asking around, I was scared to death about real or fake, right?
Yeah.
And so I leaned heavily on a really good collector friend of mine who I met through Facebook. And he actually brokered the deal from another gentleman out in California who I vetted, thoroughly. And this was back when, $40,000 for a card was like, who does that? That's insane. Right. Why would you do that? It was just 26,000. It jumped 10,000. I was like, well, I'm scared it's going to jump another 10. I didn't know it was going to jump another 700 or whatever. So I was trying to get it before it got to 50,000. So I got it way early in the game and got lucky there. It does have a PWCC A sticker, as you can see. A lot of people attribute value to that. Some people don't. There's actually an 86 Fleer PSA 10 in the Premier May auction that still got 11 days left. And it's got a 15% sticker. So the A is a 30% sticker. Oh. The one that's at auction right now is a 15% sticker. I think it's like a $265,000 with 11 days left, which is way over the recent sales. So some truth to that, to the sticker adds a little bit of value. Does the Mike Baker sticker add value? I don't know. Everybody's got an opinion about that. I'm sure you've got an opinion about that. What do you think about those Mike Baker stickers?
I personally wouldn't pay more money for a card that has someone else's sticker on it. I mean, I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but like I can assess what a card looks like, I think, and if I like it. And I frankly, 9s are fine for me because, you know,
you don't want to pay that premium. You'd rather 7 9s than a 10.
Yeah, I would have 7 9s than a 10.
Yep.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. But also, yeah, but I get people. You know, the Baker. If you're gonna buy something, you want the best of the best. I get it. It makes sense. You want a Jordan rookie. You don't want, because some of the off-centered ones look bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they look janky. Like
you see it right away. The question with the Mike Baker stickers, Josh, is, well, you know, they mean something to some people today. We know that some people will pay a premium. The question is, will people pay a premium 5 years from now, 8 years from now, 12 years from now? Will they pay more of a premium, or will they totally ignore it? No one really knows that. And I've never really looked into it. You know, a couple people have been like, why didn't you get a Mike Baker sticker on your blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. Just because to me, I just want the card. I don't really care what it's worth or what it could sell for. I'm not selling that one. So that's my card number 3. Let's move on to you. Okay, card number 3. What you got?
Wait, can you go back to your Jordan?
Yeah.
Do you know about the Fleer, the arrow, to tell if it's real or not?
Yeah, the darker shade. Yeah, let's zoom in. Tell us about it.
So on the arrow by the Premier, you can tell if it's authentic, it's going to be a darker color than the Premier yellow background. If it's fake, it's going to be probably the same. Yours is much different.
Hopefully mine's real, or Nat would have some explaining to do. This is pre-Nat, but Nat would have some explaining to do. There's and the arrow is one of the indicia of whether it's real or not. There's decimal points on the back. There's again, there's the bull's eyes. If you zoom in, you can't even get close enough, but if you zoom into the bull's eyes, there's the way this little Jerry West NBA logo symbol appears. There's the there's a really good article, and I've got it saved. I've never bought a raw Jordan, 57 in my life, and I never will. I can just tell everybody watching, I will never buy a real Jordan as long as I live. Not a 57. I have no reason to do that, because I've got what I need. But there's a fantastic article. If anybody is ever trying to distinguish real from fake, and in the 86 Fleer Facebook page, there is a bevy of information, and you can go find that article, and it tells you it's literally 20 or 30 ways to spot a real from a fake, because there's different types of fakes out there.
Right. Yeah.
Tells on how to spot it. I don't know all of them. I didn't memorize it because it didn't matter to me, but I know it's there. And so that's something for anybody looking to buy an 86 Fleer Jordan. That's something for them to kind of keep in mind and to go find that before you do it. And then also shoot it out to that 86 Fleer Facebook page. I cannot stress enough, that group is an incredible group of human beings. Like that, chasing those 86 Fleer sets that I have is one of the funnest times I've ever had in the hobby. Those guys were incredibly helpful and supportive. And so I try to chip in and kind of now support the guys that are trying to collect raw sets, PSA 7s, PSA 8s, BGS sets. There's a guy on there that collect the BGS 9.5 set, which is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody collects that set in Beckett. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, very few. So it's harder to put a 9.5 set together than a PSA 10. But anyway, that's my card number 3. Let's move back along. Let's see what you got.
All right, also, if you take the Bulls logo and turn it upside down, it looks like an alien reading a book. You'll never unsee it.
That's right.
For people listening.
I remember that on Instagram. Everybody's at home going to go try it now. They're going to buy a brand new Jordan just to try it. Right.
Exactly. All right, so my third one is a 99 platinum medallion. Is that okay? Can you see it?
That's okay, yeah.
It's out of 99. Other ones are out of 100. See, there you go. And this picture is important, I guess, to me, because this is Jordan's last game.
Go that way. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Oh, it's gone.
It's now a 7 now. It's important to me because this is Jordan's last game at Madison Square Garden, and you can tell he's wearing the Jordan 1s.
He is.
Wore those just for the game. His feet were bleeding at the end.
I've never noticed it.
There is a piece at the in the Last Dance about this game, but this is last, and he's wearing those badass pinstripe jerseys that I think are just so sharp that they should bring back next year when they win the championship. So I like that card because I do like the platinum medallions. I love just the shiny look. You can't really tell on the computer. It's got that shiny look to it. That's
awesome. Yeah.
There. And there's 96, 97, 98, 99 platinum medallions. 96 is not numbered.
Yeah.
Rumored to have about between 200 and 300. And then the other ones are, they're very famous. The 97, and there's 98, and then you got the 99.
There needs to be a book. Somebody needs to write a book on showcase stuff because it blows my mind. Like I try to do these videos every Friday about explore the card, and every time I'm like, I'm going to do one on this Flair Showcase Legacy Collection, I change my mind because it's going to take me 25 hours to figure it out, and I don't want to sound like an idiot, right?
Sure.
But at some point, I'm going to educate myself, and I'm going to put a video out there where, you know, I'm going to solicit information from a lot of you guys who know this stuff and have been doing it for 20 years, and I'm going to put out a Flair Showcase and Legacy Collection and all the rows and all that stuff explained. Let's put it all in one place. If there's not one already, I'm sure Blowout Forum is a good place to go look, but it seems to me it's just baffling to me. Some of them are sideways, some of them are vertical, some of them are serial numbers, some of them are not. There's different serial numbers, there's different rows. It's always been confusing to me, and so it's kind of been a barrier to entry, and that's why I don't have a Flair Showcase or a Legacy Collection in my collection.
I think they're great. I think you got to get some. We should definitely work on a video like that. That'd be fun. Be amazing. Yes.
That'd be fun. I'll lean on you to help me with that. You know what's really fun is that what's interesting is that in 90s cards, people like the horizontal, right?
Oh, I love it. I love horizontal cards.
Even the base. But in ultra modern, and I know you don't swim in these waters, but like ultra modern stuff, people don't dig it. Like the National Treasures autograph number to 49 is worth significantly less than the vertical number to 99. People don't dig the horizontal stuff for whatever reason. It's not recognized as the true rookie card, you know, whatever. And people just kind of generally speaking, they don't really like horizontal stuff in the ultra modern shiny. It just seems that way. I'm sure somebody will comment in the comments that they love it, and I'm not saying nobody does. I don't mind it. I like some horizontal cards. There's some really cool, I think it's 2008 Topps Chrome stuff in the Chalk Talk 2008 Topps Chrome. Yeah, I love that. The LeBron Garden Kobe is 2008 Chrome. That's horizontal. We love those, but there's kind of been a mass exodus away from horizontal cards. It seems like in the ultra modern stuff. All right, so let me skip here. All right. Let me pull this up. And so you can tell what's cool about PWCC is when you buy a card on PWCC Premier Auction, you get that video forever. It's like an NFT, right? Ooh, NFT. I said it. I used the word. Ears just went up everywhere from all the Top Shot people. But you get like a video for your card. So this is a card that obviously I bought at a PWCC Premier Auction. It's the I won't bore you with the video, but it's a 97 Metal Universe, which is one of my favorite sets ever, probably my second favorite set ever behind 86 Fleer. Platinum portraits. And for those not familiar with the card, you know, these are little kind of like pinhole punched holes that, you know, obviously show the, the face of Jordan on the front and on the back. So pretty cool card. I don't have the pack odds in front of me, but they're not good. So I wouldn't go ripping a bunch of 97 Metal Universe and expect to pull any platinum portraits, let alone the Jordan platinum portraits. But a pretty recognizable Jordan insert. And minimum gem, Josh, is one of my favorite grades for 90s cards. I know some people don't need gem mint cards, but if I can get a 9.5 min gem, it's almost like I could get 3 of those for the price of one PSA 10, and I like it that way. I like the ability to kind of grow my collection quicker. I am a snob when it comes to grades. If I can get the card in a 9.5 or a PSA 10, I do it. If it's a card that's just too scarce and too rare, obviously, you know, I'll have a PSA 6 or a 7 or an 8 or whatever. It doesn't bother me. But for a card that's actually attainable, I like getting the 9.5 because it's like, you know, the ratio is crazy between 9.5 and 10. Do you experience the same thing and you're collecting for the 90 stuff?
Oh, yeah. I would buy a 9.5 at a discount from a 10 any day. And I have seen that in 9s also, BGS 9. Oh, the pack odds are 1 in 288 packs.
Oh, 1 in 288? And then how many players are in the set? Like 10 or
15?
15. So multiply 15 by 288. Somebody the other day was bitching about that. They don't like the fact that you
right. That's like a manipulation of the numbers because you're still getting somebody at 288.
That's right.
But you're not getting but
you could get you don't want the Charlie Ward platinum portraits, right?
Right. Well, I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy, so
yeah, he did.
If you're into that.
His football platinum portraits is what you want. All right, that's it for me. Let's go back to you. That was number 4 for me. What's number 4 for you, Josh?
So this was tough. I've wrestled with this most of the week, and so number 4 is going to be this. It's going to be 97, 98 SP Authentic. Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, SP Authentic Profiles 3. There's Profiles 1, which is just not die cut, and there's a Profiles 2 that's not die cut, and the Profiles 3 is die cut, then hand numbered to 100. And this one is 5 out of 100. It's a nice deep blue number. You can't see it because I'm off the screen. There you go. Sorry. It's about, I think it's a 30 card set. I've been trying to build this set for a while. The Jordan's something I looked for many, many years, and able to find this. Found this from Jerry Yuan on Instagram. Again, without Instagram, I wouldn't have found half of these cards that I've been looking for forever because they never show up on eBay, and they never show up on. I mean, blow out once in a while, but they want like 20 times what they're worth.
Yeah.
And they never show up in auctions for the most part, at least up until the past couple of years. So that I love this set because it's one of the first hand numbered and die cut sets Upper Deck did, along with the next card I'm going to show you. And it's got a little like refractor kind of look on it. You can't really tell on the screen here, but
it's amazing. Like the pose is filthy, right? I can't tell. It's small on your screen, but is that Olajuwon trailing over to his left?
Yes, it is Olajuwon in the back. Good. Here, let me see. Can you see that now?
Two goats in one place. Yeah.
Right. And Olajuwon's in the set. Olajuwon's in the set in a different jersey doing a dunk. I don't have that one yet. So if anyone's listening, please hit me up. There's one on eBay, but I passed on that one.
The invitation to negotiate the price is a little bit too extreme. You're not going to bridge that gap?
I tried to. It was met with the same type of hate I received after my first video on this show. So,
I bought a card from Jerry Yuan, and I can't remember what card I bought, but I remember his name. I remember it being a smooth deal, and it was a pretty big card. He's got some pretty big cards, of course. And I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, and I can't remember, but he's solid, man, and he's got some serious heat. He's got some serious heat as well.
He's 6'2",
all right, so
All-Stars. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I just saw one of those profiles. Is the Profiles 2 is not serial numbered at all?
No.
And the Profiles 1 is not, only the Profiles 3. And
right.
the /100 is stamped, but the numerator, I guess we would say for math nerds out there, the numerator is handwritten in blue ink. That's pretty cool, man.
Right. So,
that is a really cool card.
And a good friend of mine has always, his theory was, and I didn't think of this till he told me, you always want to get the first 25% of the print run of any serial numbered card because it's usually the boldest color and the strongest color. And I think he's right because I've seen some that are faded and it's usually that could be brutal later on. So I always try to find the first 25 of a card. So
okay. So my number one for anybody that knows me is not going to be too much of a surprise. Amazing. Is my 97 again from the same set, 97 Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems. I'm also collecting a set, which I probably shouldn't tell people. I have taken a break on that because the prices. To me, when prices run so much, Josh, you know what? I'm going to take a breath and chill out. I recently saw a Rodman go for, let's just say, significantly more than I thought it was worth. And obviously, I was wrong because it did sell for that value, and I confirmed the sale. So there is a buyer out there for it. And so I'm not going to sit here and say it was shilled because it was a private transaction. It happened. But that kind of sent up a red flag. So I've chilled on that set. But this is my pride and joy. This is my favorite card in my collection. For those not familiar with it, it's obviously chipped up and chopped up. It's got issues. The edges is a 7.5 subgrade because primarily the left edge is a little bit shredded. But anybody who's familiar with Precious Metal Gems from the original year, 97, green or red, they explode in your hands. So finding these cards in BGS 9 or PSA 8 is literally like finding Sasquatch. I mean, it is impossible, especially now when you send the raw PMGs into PSA, they're coming back 4, 5, 6. I mean, I haven't seen a 7 come back in a very, very long time, and I know a lot of collectors that are set chasing that have sent some raw ones in, and they think they're going to get 7s or 8s, and they come back 5s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. So that's kind of the number du jour. Generally speaking, with PMG Reds, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my experience, and I've dove into this in the past probably 8 to 9 months, if it's a BGS 8, it's generally treated price-wise equivalent to a PSA 6.
Yeah.
If it's a BGS 7, it's treated equivalent to a PSA 4 or 5. It's about a 2-grade gap with this particular card and this particular set. But that's my card. Here's the front of it. There's the back of it. Again, I've got a video up here, so it's clear. I bought this card in the premier auction. Again, I was scared to death. What is the card real? Is the card not real? I bounced it off like 50 of y'all, right? People that I know and trust that know 100 times more than me about the hobby, especially from the 90s. And everybody chimed in that it was the real deal. And so decided to make a move and move some serious cards around and consolidate to go out and pick this one up. So that's my card number one. I love that set. I love the card. I love the fact that it's a color match. It just happens to be a red,
Right.
Yeah, if you played for the Sonics, you'd have to get the green to have a color match. But it's Chicago Bulls, so it's red. And anyway, that's my card number one. What you got at number one, Josh?
Well, I mean, I can't even. I'm gonna sign off right now because I can't even compete with that. So it was very nice having me on. Thank you. This is my favorite card of all time. Yeah. This is a Diamond Dimensions, and it's number 31 out of 100.
That way. Other way. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
If you can see it. Yeah, so it's Diamond Dimensions, a BGS 8. I got this a couple winters ago. I had to drive up to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If you know, I think you can put the rest together. Right. But I was able to find this. A good friend of ours had it, and we worked out a deal. And he said he had it. I went to the bank, and I drove up there in an hour. I live an hour away from Milwaukee, and it took me probably 45 minutes to get up there. And so excited. Got that card in hand. I've been looking for this card forever. I missed out on an auction. It was in the summer of 2020. I missed out by like $150 on eBay.
Yeah.
I was like,
when you went up there, when you drove up, did you get a free teeth cleaning? No.
I had to buy him lunch. So it cost.
You had to buy him lunch?
No. I'm just
okay. I was about to say.
No. He offered to buy me lunch. Just to be fair, he offered to buy me lunch. I was like,
yeah. Fair enough, but you don't want to owe him anything, so you probably should just pay for your own lunch, right?
Right. And, no, he's the nicest person in the hobby.
Truly.
Can't say enough good things about him. Got me this card, which it's going to bleed into our next question, but I just, again, it's another set I'm working on. Love everything about this. It's, again, one of the first die cut and hand numbered from Upper Deck. This is 97. There's another, I forget what it's called, but there's another version of this that's out of 2000, and it's hand stamped and hand numbered. It's a stamp, not hand numbered.
Serial stamp, yeah. Serial
stamp. And this one it's number 31, so it's breaks my rule a little, but I'm not gonna pass it up. But it's
beggars can't be choosers on cards.
Absolutely.
Like that,
so my favorite card of all time, favorite Jordan card of all time. I love it. So
that's a big time card. I don't have it. In fact, I don't have a single card you showed.
I mean,
do you have any of the 5 that I showed?
No.
Isn't that funny? We're both Jordan, right? We both consider ourselves Jordan collectors. Your top 5 and my top 5 are mutually exclusive, right?
Right.
One of us is doing something wrong, and it's probably me.
No,
right? I'm from Louisiana, and Louisiana's always confused, and so it's probably Chicago leading the way. Chicago's leading the way. Louisiana's behind. Maybe I'll pick up some of yours in the near future. The Diamond Dimensions is on my radar for sure, and so is the Profiles, but they've been on fire lately, and I don't like to chase those huge run-ups. Those 2 sets have been on fire, not just the Jordans. We talked about it last episode.
Well, a Kenny Anderson went for $800 on eBay 2 weeks ago. I'm not paying $800 for Kenny Anderson.
Anderson, was it raw? Was it graded?
Raw.
Are most of the cards from that set? And I know you're collecting that set. You're collecting Diamond Dimension set too, right?
Yeah.
Are most of those cards BGS or PSA?
BGS. Oddly enough, the ones that I've bought, graded have been BGS. I bought a Barkley 9.5 from and PWCC, oddly enough, and that was a 9.5 Beckett.
I saw that card. I talked about that card in my You bought that not too long ago.
It must have been a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Let me find it. I have
9.5's got to be rare for one of those cards. Is a 9.5 that's not normal for a Diamond Dimensions, right?
Not really. Yeah. It's hard to find that card.
Yeah,
I'll find it. I got a bunch of stuff here, but no, that's a great set. I mean, it's got Kobe in it. I was able to get the Kobe pretty early. It's got this crimping on the top, which I think that was a sheet defect because I've seen a lot of those cards. That's why I love uncut sheets also, because if you ever want to know why a certain card is off-centered or why a certain card is cut a certain way, you can find it on the sheet where it is on the sheet. Yeah. So, tangent.
Well, that does it for that topic. That topic was just our 5 best Jordan cards. So I think going forward, we can we'll modify that. But I like showing cards. I think people like to look at cards, and so we'll think of something better, like maybe we can't do our 5 best hockey cards or 5 best baseball. We can't do that. That would not be fun. It would just be you showing cards and me asking dumb questions.
No one wants to see that.
We're gonna figure something out. What we'll do? You know what we'll do next week? We'll do our 5 best non-Jordan cards.
There you go. Or we could do mail days sometimes. If we get a mail day, we could save it for the show.
I don't want to copy off of our friends, the trendsetter friends that we have.
Oh,
I don't want to be
that. All right.
I mean, we're already riding coattails. Like, the lead is, it's like PSA and we're, HGA. I don't want to copy and go with mail days, right? I don't want to do that.
That's cool. I get it.
But we'll do 5 best non-Jordan cards, or maybe we'll do 5 best cards from the 90s to kind of stay in the 90s motif, since you're a 90s auction house, future 90s auction house business owner. Maybe we'll do our best 90s cards and not Jordan. That would be fun. I think people would like that.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe somebody can comment and tell us what they want to see. How about that?
Right.
We'll open it up to the floor and somebody can tell us what card. I hope they don't say like your 5 best Kerry Kittles or something like that, right?
I'd be in trouble. Right.
We would both be in trouble. I have one. You can guess what it is. You can guess what it is. All right, last topic, and this is something that's interesting, and I don't want to sound morbid, right? But essentially, we want to talk about, if your house is burning down, what's the last card you'd save? It could be one of the ones we just talked about. It could be a totally different card. It could be a card that means more to you, than money, right? It could be, I don't know, you're 44 years old. You were probably collecting, Dwight Gooden, Donruss rookie cards or whatever in 1985. It could be anything. So we'll talk about that. And then I also want to talk about exit strategy, because I think that's something that people in the hobby don't think about enough. A lot of the new entrants in the hobby, and I don't mean this to sound disparaging, because I consider myself a new entrant into the hobby. I came in around 2016, I think. So I'm, right on 6 years, something like that. But the people that kind of came into the hobby maybe 2018, 19, 20, especially 2020 and beyond, they have a much shorter term vision, right? They think about they approach it investor first, collector second. Whereas I still believe I always want to buy a card that I don't want to buy a card that I think is going to go down in value, but I'm always thinking, how does this fit into my collection? How much do I need this in my collection? Then I think about the investment aspect. And I would never let the investment aspect really interfere with the collector side of me. How do you approach when you collect, like as far as that goes? Are you collector first, investor second, or are you just pure collector?
So I'm a collector really first. There are cards that I buy with the intention of I'm buying these to flip them. Yeah. So I have money to buy cards to collect.
Amen.
But when I buy a card for my collection, I'm just like, I'm keeping this. I don't really care I'll overpay for stuff if it's something I really want, and like this is going in the box. I'm not doing anything with this. I'm okay with this, and I'll just buy it. But it's a very different perspective with newer people in the hobby, which is cool. I mean, I think it's always neat to have different perspectives, especially in a hobby like this, because if it just stays stagnant, it's boring, right? It's good to have.
We can't all be like we can't all love the 90s, because if we all just love the 90s, then all of the modern day cards would be worthless.
Right, and the vintage stuff. Right.
And we know, and the vintage stuff, right? And it can't be, it has to be ultra modern shiny, because then, we've seen what's happened with 90s cards and vintage cards. They've exploded over the past, 24 months. Well, they're up and then down or whatever. But nevertheless, it's been an interesting ride. So we know that's one of the beautiful things about the hobby is that, collectors need investors, long-term investors. Like I consider myself a long-term investor. Like, will I die with those 5 cards you just saw? I will not. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm not willing to, come on camera and say, I'm taking these to the grave or I'm giving these to my kids. I'm not. I am going to sell those cards. But you know what? I don't think about that exit strategy, how that's going to be accomplished. And maybe it's just because, in my mind, it's so far off, Josh. And I don't want to think about it because it's sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to think about not having this card in my collection. And I know people are laughing at me because it's in a vault in Oregon, right? But
you still
I feel the card, right? I mean, the card's in that vault. That's a decision I made, whatever. I know some people like to hold them and squeeze them, feel them, and all that stuff. But I'm okay with collecting this way. But I don't like to think about that exit strategy, Josh, to be quite honest with you, just because it's kind of sad. What are your thoughts on that, on exit strategy? Like, when are you going to let go of that Jordan Diamond Dimensions? Is the answer absolutely never?
I probably don't ever plan on getting rid of it. Like I don't see a time when where I'd have to sell it. If it came down to that, I think a lot of other stuff went wrong along the way. But in terms of like exiting the hobby, I never think about that. I think about probably giving these to my kids when I get a lot older, and if they're into it, because they have the collecting bug a little bit, but they're into Pokemon and stuff. But they all start somewhere. So hopefully I'll give this on to them, and we can do, because we go to shows together. They love it. But yeah, in terms of exit, I don't really think about it. You're right, it is sad, and I don't think about it, mortality or stuff like that.
Morbid.
Of it, yeah. But I do have instructions for my wife for who to call, and who to contact if anything happened, and and then she'd probably be the one that did it. So I think she'd want the money anyway. But yeah.
Last episode, your kids, you had 2 boys.
I still do.
You still have them 7 days later? Okay, good.
No one wants them. I know. I tried to get them away.
Yeah. You have 2 boys. Have you thought about the family disaster that occurs when they're fighting over the diamond dimensions? When you passed away at age 97, and they're in their mid-40s, mid-50s.
Yeah.
Have you thought about the family catastrophe that you've just created by not willing that particular card to one of those 2 kids? Because they're going to inherit that 50-50.
Right. That's a good point.
You need to think about that.
Thought about that.
Profiles 3, diamond dimensions. You gotta pick a kid, man.
I think you're right. Yeah, and tell them you can each have half of the card and see what they say. If they say no, then there you go.
Yeah. Along the same lines of exit strategy about when we're going to get out and how we're going to get out, I really haven't given much thought to it, but I think it's something that we should kind of reflect on as collectors in the hobby and invest. The investors obviously probably have thought about it, and their exit strategy is 6 months down the road. I'm obviously, a lot of my cards, probably 90% of my collection, maybe 80% of my collection NFS, NFT. That means not for sale, not for trade for those of us on, social media. So I have not given much thought to that. Going back to what you said, you brought up a great point. What happens if an alligator eats me, or a train hits you, or you get mugged in Chicago, 90% of the population does? What are we gonna do? What does our wife do? How much does your wife know about the hobby? You told me before we got on air, you must have the coolest wife in the world. She wanted to go see Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, she was dying. Yeah.
My wife would have no idea who Doctor Strange is. No idea. If I told her I was going to see Doctor Strange, she would think it's a proctologist or something. What in the hell is he talking about, right? But that's something you brought up a great point. Put something, and again, we're getting real dark and morbid here, and we're going to end it on something positive, right? I promise. But put something in your will about what cards you own, just like you would if you have an E-Trade account, right? For us in our mid-40s, I'm not talking about guys in their mid to early 20s. Right. Bad things happen to people all the time, regardless of their age. But guys our age, we've built up, we're in our maximum earning capacity, between age 40 and 55, probably. Cards are a big part of it. We've had a big run up. There's a lot of people out there who, their net worth has gone up, commensurate with their card collection, and primarily because of their card collection. People who are never thought they would be wealthy could be extremely wealthy just because of how much they love cardboard the last 20 years. And so put something in your will, what you own, where it is, and tell your significant other or your children, if you're not married, just give them some idea. Here's a phone number. Here's an email address.
Sure.
Get in touch. You just DM this person on Instagram. Hopefully Instagram will still exist by then, or Facebook. Go find this person. They will be trustworthy, and they will guide you what to do with your assets after you pass away. And we both have a little bit of a different perspective on that because we're both attorneys. And I'm not a wills and estates attorney, and you're not a wills and estates attorney. But we have that perspective because we see it happen all the time. People pass away, and I get phone calls from family members asking, what do I do? They're distraught, they're sad, they've lost somebody they love more than anything on earth, especially when it's a spouse situation. And they want guidance. They want to know what to do with it. Don't let cards be one more thing, right? Put it down on paper. Just get it out, put it on paper, put it in the bank deposit box with your most prized card, and then just add a list on there. Who do I get in touch with, and
right.
Let that person guide them. If you've got somebody out there that and trust like that, put that person's name and phone number down, and take that off your spouse. I feel like I'm soliciting clients to do wills. I hate doing wills and successectives, right?
Oh.
So I'm not asking for that. Trust me, I'm not out here
touch those
business,
gifts,
right?
Gifts and stiffs. I don't touch them.
Yeah, move it along, right? I just move it along to somebody who does that for a living. No family law stuff for me, but anyway, that's kind of it. Just exit strategy. It's interesting if you don't have an exit strategy and you've got a big buttload of cards and you haven't thought about it. Just take a step back and think about it. Maybe even bounce some questions off people that and you trust in the hobby that have been doing it for a long time, and just see what they think. Sure. Hey, what are your thoughts? What are your plans? What do you envision having? The same smaller, the same, or a much larger collection 10, 12, 15 years from now. When you're 70, are you going to want these cards, or are you going to want to, be on an island in Greece, or what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or do you want to buy your kids cars? Do you want to buy your grandkids cars and pay for tuition and stuff? Just thinking about stuff like that. I hope it doesn't diminish the love that we have as collectors. I'm not sitting here, I hope that doesn't diminish everybody's perspective of me as a collector, but you've got to think about the monetary aspect of this cardboard the same way you would a stock certificate, or precious gems or diamonds or, whatever, your house and all that stuff. I think you lump it in with all those other assets, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. That's a smart way to do it because, you guys always got a plan, though.
Yeah, always plan. That's it. One more thing I wanted to talk about, and I just wanted to share this with my viewers. This is neither here nor there, and I said 3 topics, but this is another one, something that I discovered. Anytime I figure out something new in the hobby, and you already knew this because we were talking about it before we went on air, I had a ton of inventory. I'm talking about low-end inventory. These are $12 to $125 slab cards that I've had up on eBay forever. I'm getting no traction. I priced them buy it now or best offer, not auction. So this is probably, I had probably 175 listings, Josh. None of these cards mean anything to me. They're not special, right? These are cards that the investor side of me came in, buy raw, grade them, flip them. Well, I got caught by PSAs, 1 year delay, sometimes 15 months. Cards that were worth $180 are now worth $25, the ultra modern shiny base stuff. And they were just sitting there, and I was like, it was causing anxiety to build. It was causing anxiety to build up. I'm like, oh my God, I've got more slabs. Every week I have more slabs, and I'm not moving any of this other inventory. And honestly, I'm sitting on the sidelines. As you know, we've talked about this. I want to get back in. I want to start buying more cards. I want to start, keeping the money moving so I can buy new stuff and add to my collection. I didn't know you can go on eBay and convert all of your buy it now or best offer in a bulk thing to auctions. So I could take 75 buy it now listings that I have, and I can click a button, drop down, boom, 7-day auction. You can click when it starts, when it ends, all that stuff. And then boom, and they all switch over as long as you, set the same beginning, starting price, right? Yeah. You knew that. Have you ever done that before?
I have. Yeah. Not 75 because I don't want to have to package and label 75 cards, but
I don't either. That's what my son's for.
It's right. You got kids. It's right. There you go. Built-in labor. It's great. Yeah. Good job. Yeah.
So that was just something that I thought was interesting. And so all that stuff, and the reason I brought it up is it all ended right before we got on the air. And so my phone, it's Mother's Day. We're sitting there. We're out by the pool. My kids are running around, and my phone starts going ding, 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 literally just like that. And it goes for like 5 minutes nonstop because I staggered them, right? I staggered them to end like a minute apart. And every minute for like 85 straight minutes, it's dinging. Your item sold. And then I'll look at it, $12, free shipping. And I'm like, oh, after eBay fees, there's $7 more in my pocket, if you don't have the full mailer that I got to pay for. So, but luckily, one buyer bought like, bulk and stuff like that. So it's easy to ship. But anyway, that's the plight of the ultra modern flipper side of me, right? So I've got to ship out a bunch of crap after we get off the air tonight. But anyway, what else? Anything else? You got anything to add? You excited? This is good. We're at the 58-minute mark. We're going to finish just under an hour. Anything you want to add about 90sauction.com?
Well, 2 things. One was the last card we were ever going to sell, but also, did you want to talk about that?
I forgot. I assumed it was the last card you showed. It's not. You got a monster.
No,
I totally cut you off. Show us what you got.
It's okay. Well, no, it's not basketball though. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is probably the only card, the one card. If the house is on fire, I'd take. It's I posted this on Instagram before.
That's Satchel Paige's brother.
Yes, Leroy. It's his twin brother. It's a Satchel Paige. It says Satchel Paige on the back. Actually, it says Leroy Satchel Paige. So it's really good. This is a 48 leaf baseball. His rookie card. 48 Leaf did 2 sets. They did the first print, and it has the Ruth is the #1 card. There's Ted Williams. The Jackie Robinson is in the first run, and it's got Honus Wagner, Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, Warren Spahn, bunch of old vintage baseball guys, right? Then it was just to make the gum. Then they made a second run, and those are known as the short prints. And the short prints are skip numbered. So so when they released cards in 48 in August, and they did it after Ruth died, because Ruth died in August of 48. So that first Ruth card is actually a tribute card because he was dead. Yes, that's card number 1. But then card number 8 was Paige, so that card wasn't available yet. So kids are buying gum, like, where the hell are the rest of these cards? And then a few months later, Leaf put out the short print series. Mr. Mint, who was this guy, Alan Rosen, who died, I think, 3 years ago. He was always at the Nationals, old-time collector and dealer and huckster. He was a goofball, but was good for the hobby. He found a sealed case of 48 Leaf baseball in I think an attic somewhere in Michigan. He cracked the entire thing, which, is terrible to me because, like, you're never going to find a sealed box in your life.
Little did he know, right?
They found 3 pages, and they found over like 20 Ruths. So the number of this card is very rare. It's considered the rarest post-war baseball card out there. So I don't know the pop report on these so much, but I bought this in, I believe it was either 2011 or 2010 from a heritage auction, and they had them delivered to me when they were in Chicago for the November show, but they still charged me shipping. So
and that's the old delivery. It's called a delivery fee when they give it to you.
They had to bring it with them, right?
That's the old SGC label, right?
I've never gotten this out. It's gonna be there's a miscut on the bottom because if you can't see on here, but on the bottom of that there's like a cut of a different card. You can see the text from a different card on there. So and the condition, I don't care about that. I just wanted a copy, and these are known for very poor registration. Like the hat, there's I love the colors of these too. So I need 3 cards for the set, and I'm never selling that set, but I'm never selling this card.
Dude, when you talk about cards, I just feel dumber. Every time you talk, I feel dumber. Like I don't. Yeah, I'm serious. Like you got more knowledge in your pinky finger than I got in my whole body. So when you tell a story about a card, I feel like a freaking ultra modern, sneaker flipper here, having these chintzy modern cards, right? And you go back and you tell you have a soliloquy for 5 minutes about a card that I've never seen in my life, but it's the number 1 card that you would save if your house is on fire.
I'm an idiot, so don't think it. So don't worry about that.
It sounds like you love cards. There's nothing wrong with that.
But, I'm talking with you all day about this.
All right. Well, look, we're gonna kill it here in about an hour and 2 minutes. Thanks for joining me again. I'll see you next Sunday. We're going to release this. I think we decided we're going to release these every Monday at 4 p.m.
It's awesome. I love doing this with you.
Cool. And obviously I was kidding. The comments were all very favorable. Most of the people liked you, and everything you said mattered, and everything I said was just, Cajun rhetoric.
Well, no one's listening by now. They all cut off after I kept it. So thank you. And thanks for giving a platform for the auction house. I really appreciate you doing
Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to your wife and mother, and all wives and mothers out there, especially my wife and my mother. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. That's the end of it. And so keep collecting, stay positive, and peace.
Always. Take care. All right.
Yep.